Hello there, welcome along to Let's Talk on OTI Media. My name is Colm Kelly. I'm joined on today's show by Justin Twell. We're going to talk a little bit about mental health. I think it's a topic that isn't discussed enough, and I think it's something that in today's world we need to discuss on a much larger basis and make sure that it is okay for people, if they are suffering from any form of mental health issue, to go out and talk about it. So I'm delighted to be joined on my show here today with Justin. And how are you doing, Justin?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. All the way from Australia. It's a beautiful day. It's summertime. It's early in the morning here, but yeah, it's looking like being a good day. So can't complain. All good to go. You can
see from Justin, he's in Australia. I'm here on the opposite side of the world in Ireland. It's nighttime here, and it's nice and sunny over there. It's actually very, very cold here. But I think this is a problem. An issue. Maybe I'll not call it a problem, but it's something that needs to be discussed worldwide. So that's a perfect situation to have people on both sides of the world to discuss it. And on this segment of the show, we're going to have multiple segments, so hopefully you'll check all those out. But on this one, we're going to talk to Justin. We're going to find out his story, and then as we move through the series, we're going to talk about how to discuss your mental health issues, how to get help, and what you should do if somebody talks to you and you're not quite sure how to help them out. So we're going to have lots of different segments along the way. So do check them all out up there on OTI Media. So Justin, I know your story, but for the people watching that don't know your story, can you share a little bit of your background and your history with mental health?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's my story is, I got severe depression back in 2002. Just to get to the point here, to the point where I took an attempt on my life. To try to hang myself, and it failed, and I'm glad it did, and you'll find out the reason why in a moment. But when I look back, when I think back to it, and I think, well, how did this happen? I mean, it had nothing to do with my upbringing or anything like that. I mean, I consider myself someone who had a good upbringing. My parents, there's always food on the table. We had a roof over our head. I had always had a good relationship with them, and my younger sister, and went to school just like any regular child, and school was fine. I never really got bullied at school. I was, I had some good friends, and I was quite fortunate in that way. But I was probably I must have been about 23 or 22, 23 at the time. And I always think that the cause of it was due to situations that were going on in my life. I mean, at that point, shortly after that, shortly before that, my parents split up, and that was tough, and that hit me hard, but not to the point where I felt like I was going downhill. But then, I met someone who I'm actually married to now, but we'll get to that. I met someone, who was very special to me, and that relationship broke down, and she came back to Australia. I was living in London at the time, and she was there as well. And just the way that happened, and then I lost my job as well. So, the family breakdown, the relationship breakdown, losing my job all in the space of, I think, probably about 9 months or so, really hit me. And, I just had the feeling of losing everything. And there was nothing that I could do to control it or bring it back. And I think that's, in a nutshell, that's what caused me to spiral down into a place that, I don't want anyone to ever go. And, we'll talk about, obviously, that a bit more about that. But, so yeah, I took an attempt at my life. It failed. I then spent the next 3 to 4 years in a mental health facility at the hospital. I wasn't even allowed to leave the hospital for most of that time, purely because I was considered a danger not only to myself but to others. I had nothing. I didn't know where my life was going. I had absolutely no idea. I did get out, and then I tried to take an overdose. So then I went back in again, and then I'll come out again. I think sort of about a year later. I was living in temporary accommodation. The only thing I had was the clothes on my back. I had nothing. So it's that in a nutshell is kind of what it was. I mean, if you really want to get into the details, on my Twitter account at Justin1278. The pinned tweet there is the story in written form that goes into a bit more detail. But what I will say is that it's been the happiest ending that I could imagine. You know, I mentioned that I'd met someone, and you know, that collapsed. She came back here, and I was in London, and you know, we lost contact, and that was that. And I'll just quickly touch on, you know, you always hear the saying that things always tend to work out. You know, how they work out or when they work out, we never really know. But you know, 5 years ahead, and you know, I moved from London to a place called Cambridge, and you know, managed to find a job, and you know, I went to live with my mum and my sister, and I started to get my life back. And one day, out of the blue, this woman, you know, my ex at the time, she sends me a Facebook message, just saying, "Hello, how you doing? Just wanted to see how you are, how things are." And yeah, so we got talking from there, and we got talking on the phone, and then I came here for a visit, and again, long story short, I moved here. We're married. We have 2 children. We've just passed 9 years of marriage, so things always work out for the better. But it's that initial challenge of you know, whether it's depression or whatever whatever the mental health illness might be, it's always going to be that initial challenge of you know, talking about it, and that's, you know, that's what we're here for, and hoping to encourage people to do so.
Yeah, it's obviously, you know, it's been a long, challenging journey, but as you mentioned, there has been a happy ending to it. And like you mentioned as well, it is something that's very, very difficult to talk about, but the goal here for us is to be able to get people to be able to reach out, talk about it, and share their experiences, and then have other people come forward and be able to talk, you know, whether it's to their friends, to their family, to their wife, to their partner, whatever the situation is, so they can come out and talk more about it. So obviously we've, you know, had a little bit of your background now, and we're going to move forward. We're going to have different segments to look at different episodes of this series as we talk about Let's Talk on OTI Media. So this has been the first one, and hopefully you're going to go through now and watch the rest of them as we give you different tips on how to talk, if your friends are having trouble, how to help them out in different little bits and pieces. So hopefully you're going to go through now and watch all the rest of them, but this has been the first one, so I do thank you for checking it out. Of course, hit that subscribe button, OTI Media. You can follow me on Twitter. My name is Colm Kelly, and my Twitter handle is @OvertimeIreland. The guest is Justin Twell, and you can follow him on Twitter @Justin1278. It is very important to talk, and hopefully these series of episodes will help people to do so. And of course, you can give us in those comment section below as well to get in touch with us. People should talk, so hopefully we help open those doors. So until the next show, you can come back and check that one out. Have a good one.